Good evening, friends. Here is your structured, comprehensive, and crisp YouTube video well designed for a fast-paced, high-utility medical news roundup for July 21, 2026. Segment 1, The Lead, Vaccine and Biotech Breakthroughs. Welcome back to your daily breakdown of the most critical healthcare and medical breakthroughs shaping our world today, Tuesday, July 21, 2026. We start today with a historic milestone in tropical medicine. The Central Drug Standard Control Organization, CDSCO, has officially granted marketing authorization to Dengue, the live-attenuated tetravalent dengue vaccine developed by Takeda GmbH. This approval targets individuals aged 4 to 60 years old and will be rolled out as a two-dose subcutaneous regimen spaced 3 months apart. Dengue has long plagued endemic nations, and with over 24 million doses already safely distributed across 42 countries, including the UK and the European Union, this WHO pre-qualified shot is set to completely revolutionize vector-borne disease management alongside traditional public health strategies. Further details in the following paragraphs. Meanwhile, in oncology tech, India's Dr. Dengue's lab has just launched the nation's first nationwide multi-cancer detection test. This screening innovation is a massive step forward for early detection, capable of spotting signs of multiple cancers from a single liquid biopsy blood draw before symptoms even emerge. If you've been following the rise of early screening tech like Grail's Gallery, this expansion marks a massive geopolitical shift in who has access to next-gen preventative medicine. Segment 2, FDA Watch and Big Pharma Disruption. Moving to regulatory news, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, has had an incredibly busy month, and today we are breaking down 3 massive approvals that are completely shifting how common and rare diseases are treated. First up, Merck has secured approval for Lifendra, Enlicitide, https://www.drugs.com/newdrugs.html. This is a highly anticipated oral PCSK9 inhibitor designed to slash low-density lipoprotein cholesterol, LDLC, in adults suffering from hypercholesterolemia, including the genetic condition heterozygous familial hypercholesterolemia. For years, PCSK9 inhibitors required painful, expensive biweekly or monthly injections. This all-oral tablet completely disrupts that market, offering a massively convenient alternative for millions trying to manage severe heart disease risk. Next, the FDA granted accelerated approval to Atacicept Vymj by Vera Therapeutics. This is a first-in-class recombinant fusion protein targeting primary IgA nephropathy, a severe autoimmune kidney disease that often leads to total kidney failure. In its phase 3 trials, this weekly self-administered subcutaneous injection demonstrated a staggering 46% reduction in proteinuria after just 9 months, offering new hope to nephrology patients everywhere. Finally, Eli Lilly's targeted oncology drug, Retevmo, selpercatinib, has officially transitioned from accelerated to traditional FDA approval for both adult and pediatric patients aged 2 and older who have advanced or metastatic RET fusion-positive solid tumors. This solidifies a precise, genetic-first approach to treating hard-to-tackle cancers across age groups. Segment 3, Medical Research and Clinical Trials. Let's dive into the peer-reviewed science that dropped this morning, starting with a paradigm shift in neurodegenerative research. Published via Science Daily, https://www.sciencedaily.com/news/top/eth/, researchers at UCLA have uncovered a stunning truth about Alzheimer's disease. For decades, we blamed cognitive decline and severe sleep loss entirely on amyloid plaques. However, this new study shows that the brain's own immune cells, overactive microglia, trigger hyperinflammation that actively destroys sleep architecture. By targeting these overactive microglia in mice, scientists managed to restore 2 full hours of deep sleep without even touching or clearing the underlying brain plaques. This proves that treating brain inflammation could dramatically improve the quality of life for Alzheimer's patients long before plaque-clearing drugs take effect. At the same time, a massive head-to-head clinical trial published on News Medical compared 2 heavyweights in the weight loss and diabetes market, semaglutide versus liraglutide. While both GLP-1 receptor agonists are highly effective at blood glucose control and weight management, this new real-world data proves that semaglutide demonstrates a significantly stronger profile in reducing long-term cardiovascular risks and diabetes progression in patients who didn't even have established heart conditions at the start of the trial. And for those tracking the ongoing battle against long COVID, a randomized clinical trial of 399 adults has revealed that fluvoxamine, a widely available, low-cost antidepressant, significantly reduces the crushing fatigue associated with the condition. This gives millions of long haulers a readily accessible, affordable therapeutic option. Segment 4: Global Health Policy and Legal Feuds. Now for the legal and policy battles shaking up the medical infrastructure today. In New Delhi, the Delhi High Court issued a major ruling regarding the health of climate activist Sonam Wangchuk, who has been on a high-profile hunger strike for over 22 days. Overturning a previous single-judge decision, the division bench has ordered his immediate transfer from Safdarjung Hospital to Medanta Hospital in Gurugram. The court ruled that while preserving his life is the absolute priority, an individual retains the right to receive expert monitoring and medical treatment at a facility of their choice. This case has sparked immense tension, with the Resident Doctors Association of AIIMS Delhi concurrently appealing directly to President Draupadi Murmu to launch an independent, time-bound inquiry into recent law enforcement clashes involving medical protesters. Meanwhile, India's National Health Authority, NHA, has dropped the hammer on medical corruption, slapping a staggering 114.06 Indian rupees crore fine on 2,842 hospitals enrolled under the flagship Ayushman Bharat insurance scheme. Following an aggressive crackdown by the National Anti-Fraud Unit, 2,003 of these hospitals have been completely de-empaneled, and another 839 have been suspended. The NHA also successfully blocked over 678 Indian rupees crore in suspicious, fraudulent claims before they could leak out of the Public Health Fund. This massive push for systemic accountability comes right as the National Medical Commission, NMC, approved 810 additional MBBS seats for the upcoming academic year. This pushes Telangana past the historic 10,000-seat milestone, making it one of only 5 states in India equipped to train medical students at this scale. However, it's not all smooth sailing. Medical education remains under intense scrutiny as the Supreme Court continues to address heavy parliamentary protests and student outcries regarding recent score discrepancies in the NET examinations. Segment 5: Public Health, Trends, and TikTok Warnings. Let's talk public health trends, starting with a serious warning from the dermatological community. A major viral story has erupted today via Cover News, where a mother who survived aggressive melanoma 3 separate times went public to blast the highly dangerous tan-maxing trend on TikTok. Young influencers are actively encouraging their followers to skip sunscreen entirely and use sunbeds or extreme sun exposure to build a base tan. Dermatologists are leveraging this viral moment to remind the public that there is absolutely no such thing as a healthy UV tan. Any darkening of the skin is a direct cellular response to DNA radiation damage, drastically increasing your risk of aggressive skin cancers later in life. To counter this, if you are looking for safe skincare, the American Medical Association, AMA, released an expert brief on their Health vs. Hype podcast exploring red light therapy. Led by Dr. Margareta Mass from Northwell Health, the AMA confirmed that while red light wavelengths do provide legitimate therapeutic benefits for mild wrinkles, low-level hair growth, and localized joint pain, consumers must realize it is not a miracle cure. They advise patients to look for FDA-cleared devices and manage expectations, avoiding overhyped marketing claims dominating social media. Segment 6: Emerging Tech and Global Infrastructure Crises. We close out today's report looking at medical engineering and global infrastructure. At the Society of Robotic Surgery annual meeting, Microbot Medical stole the spotlight by showcasing their latest micro-robotic technologies in digital surgery applications. These tiny, automated medical robots are being engineered to navigate human blood vessels with pinpoint precision, allowing surgeons to perform highly complex endovascular procedures remotely, minimizing human error and dramatically slashing patient recovery times. But while high-tech robotics thrive, global healthcare delivery systems are buckling under logistics and administrative failures. A new report featured on the Economic Times highlights that hospital asset mismanagement is costing Indian hospitals an average of 1.8 Indian rupees crore every single year. Because institutions lack real-time location systems, RTLS, to track mobile medical devices, they are forced to massively overpurchase expensive equipment simply because they cannot find the units they already own. This operational bottleneck isn't unique to Asia. Over in New Zealand, Christchurch Hospital, https://www.instagram.com/real/d9x8bwjbhs, is facing an administrative nightmare with over 10,000 people trapped on waiting lists for colonoscopies. Shockingly, data revealed today shows that even high-risk, urgent patients are facing delays of up to 5 months beyond their clinical due date. It is a stark reminder from the World Health Organization's latest global status briefs that developing cutting-edge medicine means nothing if our basic public health infrastructure cannot deliver it efficiently and equitably. More on Dengue, TAK003, Comprehensive Scientific Summary, 2026. 1. Dengue TAK003 is the world's first widely approved tetravalent live attenuated dengue vaccine that can be administered irrespective of previous dengue infection. It was developed by Takeda Pharmaceuticals, Japan, and represents one of the most important advances in dengue prevention. India granted marketing approval in July 2026, making it the first dengue vaccine approved for use in India. 2. Approval status. Global. Approved in 40+ countries. European Medicines Agency, EMA. UK MHRA. Brazil. Indonesia. Argentina. Thailand. Several Latin American countries. WHO has granted pre-qualification, PQ. Meaning of WHO pre-qualification. WHO pre-qualification is not a marketing license. It means WHO independently certifies that the vaccine safe, effective, manufactured under GMP, batch-to-batch quality is consistent, cold chain validated, suitable for procurement by UNICEF, Gavi, PAHO, UN agencies, national immunization programs. It is essentially an international quality certification. 3. India approval. Approved by DCGI. July 2026. Indication. Age. 4 to 60 years. No requirement for pre-vaccination dengue antibody testing. 4. Vaccine type. Live attenuated recombinant tetravalent dengue vaccine. Not mRNA. Protein vaccine. Viral vector vaccine. 5. Technology. This is perhaps the most innovative aspect. Dengue is built using reverse genetics plus recombinant DNA technology. Not CRISPR. Step 1. Scientists took attenuated DNV2 virus, converted viral RNA into DNA, cDNA, inserted into plasmid. Step 2. Removed genes coding for PRM and envelope uroproteins. Step 3. Inserted corresponding genes from DENV1, DENV3, DENV4 into the DENV2 backbone. Final product. 4 viruses. 1. Attenuated DNV2. 2. DNV2 backbone plus DNV1 surface proteins. 3. DNV2 backbone plus DNV3 surface proteins. 4. DNV2 backbone plus DNV4 surface proteins. Hence, replication machinery. DENV2 surface antigens. For serotypes. 6. Why DNV2 backbone? Because it genetically stable, grows well in culture, strong immune response, reliable manufacturing, easy quality control. 7. Why replace only PRM and E genes? Envelope protein is the major neutralizing antibody target. Therefore, changing E protein. Immune system recognizes each serotype separately. 8. Manufacturing. Developer Takeda Pharmaceuticals. Japan. Indian manufacturing partner. Biological E Hyderabad. Planned production. Almost equals 50 million doses/year. Global target. Almost equals 100 million doses/year by 2030. 9. Dose. 0.5 milliliters. Subcutaneous. 2 doses. Dose 1. Dose 2 after 3 months. No booster currently recommended. 10. Age group. India. 4 to 60 years. WHO. Routine use mainly. 6 to 16 years. Living in highly endemic regions. 11. Indian trials. DEN 302. Phase 3 bridging trial. Approximately 480 healthy Indians. Age 4 to 60 years. Assessed safety. Immunogenicity, tolerability, not powered for clinical efficacy. 12. Global trial. TIDES, DEN 301. Largest dengue vaccine trial, greater than 20,000 participants in 8 endemic countries. Nearly 5-year follow-up included. Seropositive and seronegative individuals. 13. Efficacy. Protection against symptomatic dengue is almost equal to 80%. Protection against hospitalization is almost equal to 90%. Protection maintained for several years. Maximum protection occurs after completion of the 2-dose schedule. 14. When does immunity begin? Some immune response begins within weeks after the first dose. Maximum validated protection. After second dose. 3 months later. Underscore so not intended for immediate outbreak protection underscore. 15. Protection. Protects against DENV1, DENV2, DENV3, DENV4. Most important benefit. Reduction in severe dengue, hospitalization, dengue shock syndrome, ICU admission. 16. Antibody-dependent enhancement, ADE. What is ADE? Antibodies bind virus. Do not neutralize. Virus enters macrophages through Fc receptors. Higher viral replication. Severe dengue. Dengvaxia. Caused increased severe dengue in seronegative individuals. Therefore, pre-vaccination antibody testing required. Dengue. Extensively studied. No convincing evidence of clinically significant vaccine-associated ADE similar to Dengvaxia. However, long-term surveillance continues. WHO remains cautious in seronegative populations. 17. Contraindications. Pregnancy. Breastfeeding. Severe immunodeficiency. High-dose immunosuppressants. Advanced HIV. 18. Side effects. Usually mild. Pain. Swelling. Fever. Headache. Myalgia. Fatigue. Serious adverse events are uncommon in clinical trials. 19. Cost. Official Indian MRP. Not yet announced. Expected to decrease after biological E begins domestic production. 20. Major advantages. No antibody testing before vaccination. Protection against all 4 serotypes. Excellent hospitalization reduction. Suitable for endemic countries. Who pre-qualified? Indian approval obtained. 21. Limitations. Hashtag not 100% protective. Hashtag mosquito control still essential. Hashtag long-term surveillance required. Hashtag WHO recommendations remain more conservative than India's age indication. 22. Clinical take-home message. Dengue represents the most important advance in dengue prevention since vector control programs. Unlike the earlier dengue vaccine, it does not require pre-vaccination serological testing and has demonstrated high efficacy against hospitalization and severe dengue, with no convincing evidence of clinically significant vaccine-associated ADE to date. Its recombinant DNV2 backbone technology, broad age approval in India, 4 to 60 years, WHO pre-qualification, and planned manufacturing by Biologically position it as a potentially transformative intervention for dengue endemic countries such as India. Continued post-marketing surveillance will remain essential to monitor long-term safety and effectiveness across diverse populations. drskgupta@gmail.com. Semaglutide. Semaglutide initiation was associated with more than half the risk for adult-onset seizure compared with other glucose-lowering drugs, GLDs, and sodium glucose cotransporter 2, SGLT2, inhibitors in adults with type 2 diabetes in a target trial emulation using the All of Us research program. The protective association appeared independent of glycemic control or weight loss, with minimal mediation through A1C or body mass index, BMI. Medscape. Low in NICU neonates. In this randomized clinical trial, daily skin cleansing with octenadine wipes showed no evidence of reducing the incidence of LOS in NICU neonates compared with sterile water, suggesting that infection prevention strategies should focus on multimodal interventions rather than relying solely on skin cleansing. JAMAnetwork.com. Outro. That wraps up your 20-minute medical news masterclass for today, July 21, 2026. If you found this rapid breakdown valuable, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a daily clinical update. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Are oral PCSK9 inhibitors going to change how you or your loved ones look at cholesterol management? Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you right back here again. Disclaimer: compiled information. This content is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional advice. The audience must verify the contents before use. The creator, publisher, and YouTube will not be responsible for any harm.